on display across the world, and also too piquing some interest of folks who may not have been hockey fans before the face-off.
Oh, for sure. And I know you're going to want to talk about it, but whenever there's some national rivalries and some intrigue going on there that gets everyone talking, not just the ESPNs, but like the CNNs and other outlets talking, it brings more eyes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And if you're a fan of hockey, things pretty much came down to as expected. Finals between the U.S. and Canada. I mean, if you're a fan of hockey, you know that Canada has I would say, a big presence in the hockey world. And yeah, man, I mean, it was pretty exciting. Uh, United States' first game, or first match, I should say, and it started off with like, what was it, like three fights in the first couple of minutes?
In
I mean,
in the first 9 seconds.
9 seconds. That's even more insane. And I mean, like, you know, as Americans, I mean, what do we love more than violence, right? It sounds kind of crazy, but it's the truth. I mean, it was all over the place, man. And like I said, I think they did a pretty good job of piquing that interest. The United States, they did great. Their first, I think, 3 or 4 games, they were undefeated, went all the way to the finals against Canada. And that finals game match, I don't. Did you get a chance to check any of that out?
I didn't. I kept up with it a little bit, like on the
Yeah, I
notifications and stuff.
actually I watched the finals game,
Did you?
which was yeah, last night, and it was pretty tight. I mean, it was a good match. I mean, it went all the way down to the third period, final seconds, and actually went into overtime.
Mm,
And unfortunately, excuse me, Canada was able to edge out the United States and win by a score of 3-2. Man, uh, big deal. Viewership was at I believe, like an all-time high.
yep.
For real, for real. They averaged about 9.3 million viewers, which was the biggest hockey audience ever. Peaked at 10.4 million. Man, you know, not much more to say about that than a big win for the sport of hockey.
Right, right. And what was that on? Like TNT?
ESPN actually.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, ESPN and ESPN Plus. Yeah, absolutely. We had a lot of NHL players in there. The big man of the tournament, of course, was Edmonton Oilers star Connor McDavid, who was really big in the finals matchup, and I believe was one of the most valuable players of the tournament. You know,
Yeah.
I really admire what they've done for the sport because, like I said, it was a big success overall for hockey, and it was a lot of fun and piqued a lot of viewers' interest as well as fans who weren't really a fan of the sport.
Yeah.
And to substitute that for the All Star game, I think they were moving in the right direction. You know,
Yeah.
sports, as with everything, is subject to evolution. And we look at the NFL All Star game, we talk about the NBA All Star game, and with the viewership going down, leagues have been trying to figure out ways to peak interest to get that viewership up in the middle of the season, and I think hockey got it right. Would you agree?
Yeah. So like the format is really cool. Like they did the whole round robin thing, kind of
Yeah.
kind of like a mini championship league soccer where everyone plays, it gets seeding, and then like you go to your like more formal tournament process there, and that was just it was exciting. It was brought some excitement rather than just here's a game.
Yeah, absolutely, and also I think it's they were right on time with doing this. We got the Winter Olympics next year, and it kind of gets you salivating for that hockey play for the Winter Olympics as well.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, yeah. I think the timing of the events is very important, which is why I would say that the Unrivaled League comes in second place. I mean, we'll get more into it a little bit later in the show, but I don't know what the NBA has to do, but they should definitely take notes with what some of the other league is doing.
Yeah.
With the Unrivaled League, I also feel like the timing of this, I don't know if it was on purpose or not. I don't believe in coincidences, but I feel like the timing of this was great as well. Once we get into the summer and the fall, the WNBA talk kind of goes into a lull because you got college sports, you got college basketball, you got the NBA going, and it was a good way to stay relevant in the sports realm.
Oh
For real,
yeah.
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you get to see those um, women basketball players that we know and love. And not only that, this is another thing that I was thinking about, Mark. With the timing of the Unrivaled League, right? We are at the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
They are in tournament play, and it's like a nice little appetizer before you go into March Madness
Oh
with the
yeah.
women's basketball. So, I think it really ties in great. And, if you're a fan of women's sports, you're loving what's going on right now. They've had some pretty good numbers. I feel like, the 3-on-3 league has been a success for women's sports as well as women's basketball. And, it's really been a good look.
Yeah. Yeah. And you brought up the lull between the WNBA seasons. We've talked about it a lot, but a lot of these women previously they would go overseas, because the money,
Yeah,
they would
of
need to
course.
get paid. But this keeps them closer to home. I think, especially after Brittany Griner's experience,
Yeah.
they would rather stay home and make that money, and this gives them that other opportunity.
Oh yeah, man. I totally agree with you. And last week we talked about a lot of the off-season moves that have been made in the WNBA, and with this Unrivaled League, you get to see some players match up with other players. You know, possibly new teammates, possibly new rivals, and it creates a lot of buzz for the league.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about this NBA All Star game. Like, man, oh man, this is gonna be tough because you know how much I love basketball. You know how much I love the NBA, but Mark, I don't know about you, man, but I really feel like the NBA is really dropping the ball when it comes to the the All Star game, and it might not be a popular opinion. It might be, but I feel like the NBA created this problem with its players. You know,
Yeah.
um, the lack of defense, the lack of effort. I mean, I feel like it's a problem when you have an All Star game. You have supposedly some of the biggest players in the world, biggest players in the league. Giving minimal effort. Um, the the skills competition, the dunk competition, it's not enough.
Yeah.
And this particular format was just absolutely bizarre to me. I mean, what were your thoughts on the weekend in San Francisco?
Well, if you remember, I'd actually mentioned a couple months back that they were thinking about doing this format, and I think maybe my expectations were really low, so maybe I enjoyed it a little bit more than I should have.
Oh shit. Okay.
But
Okay.
I think for decades now, the 3 point competition, the dunk contest, all that stuff, kind of takes more center stage than anything else, and the game has been an afterthought almost. And
Yeah. Yeah.
this was not the replacement that they needed, because this was even beyond what I had said when they were talking about doing it. When I read more of the details, when they officially confirmed it, and like each game was only going up to 40 points, I'm like, what are they doing?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you watched any of the festivities, people made it known that they missed the mark. You
Oh,
know,
social media.
Draymond Green, which he was like a special guest commentator on TNT. He comes from time to time. You know, when I was watching, I said, "Oh man, this is not good." And it was wild because it was like Draymond Green said everything that everybody was thinking. I mean, he flat out said that it sucked. And the only reason why I was shocked at his commentary is because you've been invited to do this commentary. I would think that it would be expected that you would kind of promote the league, promote
Right.
what the league is doing, promote the format, and he just did not do that. It's actually kind of funny. I actually said, I was like, man, I don't think Draymond Green will be invited back next year because, I mean, he totally crapped on everything that, you know, Adam Silver and the big wigs of the NBA were trying to do.
Yeah.
And not only Draymond, I mean, they had a soundbite from Charles Barkley,
Hmm.
and the words the terminology that he used was kamikaze. Which I thought was funny as well. And it was like a double whammy because not only was the format horrible,
Yeah.
but they brought this, I don't even know what you call it, like comedy relief, like
Oh my
aspect
God.
to it with Kevin Hart and everything. And man, I don't know about you, but it was more annoying than anything. I mean, people want to see basketball. I mean, yeah, we want to have some laughs and we want to have a good time and everything, but I feel like they really missed the mark and overdid it with the Kevin Hart commentary.
They did, man. Just it would have been okay like between games, but like it felt like if they took a break in the game, I don't want to say halftime because it wasn't really halftime, but like there'd be a
Right.
break in the game, and it seems like 20 minutes Kevin Hart's out there cracking jokes and doing all that. And no disrespect on Kevin, he's getting paid, he's doing what he's paid to do. But like if you're going up to 40 points, there's no reason to do this. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what they were thinking with this thing.
Yeah, you mentioned the 40 points, and a lot of people had problems with that as well because it's like, you want to see your favorite players, you want to see the All-Star and do the All-Stars, and due to the way that the format was, like, some of those All-Stars, you really got um, a very small uh, taste of their skills and actually seeing them play
Right.
on the court because you played that 40 minutes, which I mean really ended up being like, I don't know, 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes of play, and if you lost, that was it.
Yep.
Which was kind of, to me, I mean, if I'm buying a ticket, if I'm spending all that money to see, one of the players that I love, one of my favorite players, the 20, 25 minutes I don't think that was worth it. There was really no value in the ticket price. And then on top of that, we had last minute drama with players tapping out at the last minute, which I thought was like completely disrespectful. I mean, Mark, we talked offline about this.
Yeah.
Most notably, like LeBron James stepping out, backing out an hour before the game, before the tournament or whatever you want to call it starts. Anthony Edwards was another one. I mean, and these are like two of the biggest stars in the NBA.
Yeah.
You can't make them participate, but it was just like, man, come on. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to that. One, people paid the money to come see you play.
Right.
And where's the love for the fans? And two, by doing that, you took away an opportunity of a player that could have played in this and that could have participated in the festivities.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, I really feel like the All-Star Game weekend was an epic fail for the NBA, which is really unfortunate because I do feel that they were on point with the mid-season tournament.
Right. Yeah.
They were on point. It was like, you get the viewership up, you pique the interest, and then you get to the All-Star Game and you totally fuck it up.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say like what they should do. Maybe make the in-tournament finals part of All-Star Weekend. Maybe copy the NHL with what they've done and tweak their own not necessarily four nations, but for something. Maybe even copy Unrivaled and do like 6 3-on-3 teams. The NBA needs to figure out All-Star Weekend because that used to be like my favorite All-Star game of all the leagues. Yeah, and it's
absolutely.
That was a joke what they did this last weekend.
Yeah, one of the things that I was kind of thinking about, which kind of derived from their format that I thought might be a good idea is, when you have the All-Star Weekend, have a full game, regular, 40-minute game, rules, everything, but have it where you have the U.S. All-Stars versus like an all-world All-Star team.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of got that idea from the format because, one of the, I guess, mini teams of the All-Star tournament was like a global team, which, I thought was actually pretty neat. I would have liked to see more than, what we got, with that format. And I feel as though, that might, one, fix the interest, fix the intrigue, and two, maybe motivate and have like some incentives with the players because ultimately it's the players' fault that it's like this. The players' fault it's like that. I mean, if you give them something to work for, whether it be bragging rights, we all know that they're not going to get any more money because everybody gets like $500,000 for the in-season tournament. But at least it offers like some type of incentive. I mean, basketball is our national sport, and to put up our national players against foreign players, that might do the trick.
Maybe. I think the NHL did do that for their All-Star games for like the last 3, 4, 5 seasons. I'm not sure how long they've been doing it, but I mean, I'm sure it worked out for them because they did it for a while until they started this 4-season thing, 4 nations.
Yeah, absolutely. The one good takeaway from the All-Star weekend was the dunk contest.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Was it Matt McClune?
Yeah.
Man, first time ever, three-time consecutive slam dunk, contestant winner, and I mean, he came with the heat, man. You know, not only planting his flag as I'm the best dunker in the league, but was just really original with the dunk selection,
Yeah.
and you know that you're doing something when after you win, you have people talking about you, and not only just talking about you, but talking about participating who have never participated before.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, man. John Morant uh, took to Twitter. Kevin Durant took to Twitter, and they're like, man, this dude is doing the damn thing. I might think about participating
Oh wow.
next, next year. And I think that was one good takeaway from, like I said, an epic fail of an event, with the NBA. Man, I mean, outside of that, I just really don't know what you could possibly do. And, and let me ask you this, because I didn't watch every event, but did the WNBA participate any
I
this
was
time
gonna ask you the
around?
same thing too, because I
I didn't
didn't
see it.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also feel as though you kind of dropped the ball with that. I mean, the WNBA, you got to capitalize on that. I mean, the viewership and everything is the highest that it's ever been. Why eliminate them from an already struggling event?
Yeah, and that competition last year with Steph and
Yeah,
yeah, that
Sabrina.
Sabrina, yeah, that brought
Yeah,
in a lot of talk. I'm sure pretty good ratings. Why not expand on that? Do like a 3-on-3 or full 5-on-5 or something. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. I don't know, man. Whatever they do, I hope they got their thinking caps on and they've been brainstorming, because the only other option is just to scrap it all together. And to be honest with you, if they were to scrap it, I'd be cool with it. I mean, I really felt like it was just a big waste of time.
Right. Like, I mean, what happened to the good old days? Like East versus West, and it seemed like in the late 80s and the 90s, the All-Star game was like a big deal. And I don't
Yeah,
know why the NBA felt like they needed to fix it. I mean, ratings, I'm sure, but like what happened to that stigma around it?
yeah, yeah. I don't know how they're going to be able to motivate the players, because I mean, let's face it, let's be honest. There was nothing wrong with LeBron James. I mean, dude's been playing the past couple. I mean, since the second half started, he's been playing.
Yeah, yeah. I
You
remember
know,
when the notification came on my phone, like LeBron James questionable, will play. I'm like, okay, sure.
right, right, and it's just like, where's your commitment to the product? Where's your commitment to the fans? And I think ultimately that's the biggest problem. That's the biggest question mark. The biggest thing that they're going to have to solve moving forward, because otherwise it's a waste of resources, and like I said, just a waste of everybody's time.
Right. Yeah.
And and let me just say this now. I don't know why I feel like we're being force fed Kevin Hart in regards to sports. I don't know if it's because we've canceled Snoop Dogg because he's been an asshole, with his support and the decisions that he's made as of late. But me personally, I'm tired of seeing him. I am.
Yeah. He's a hustler. He does all kinds of shit. We get that. We know it. Just
Yeah.
when he was standing there next to Shaq, I mean, he's a comedian, but I wasn't laughing because he's a comedian. Like,
Right, 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 right. No doubt, no doubt. Is there anything else? Any other comments that you wanted to make about Unrivaled or NBA hockey, anything like that?
nah, I think we hit pretty much everything I wanted to.
Yeah, I think we hit everything too. And let's move on to the next topic. We talked about the we've been talking about the trade heard around the world, and we've had about what, like a little over a week since everything went down, and I feel like we've got I don't know, pretty decent sample set of the trade aftermath. And I want to ask you, between this big trade with Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, the Mavs and the Lakers, as of right now, just from the little bit that we've seen, who do you think has come out on the better end of this deal? Because I mean, it seems like to me like neither one of these teams have been getting what they were expecting as a result of these deals. Okay, Anthony Davis played one game, and then Christ Almighty, he's out for 2 weeks. Luka Doncic and LeBron James, they're kind of struggling. I mean, I know it's going to take some time to get that chemistry going, but I mean, just took a L to the Charlotte Hornets, which is one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, who do you think is faring better as a result of this trade?
I mean, it's easy to say the Lakers are doing better just because of AD being AD, but I think I looked it up, and since the trade, the Lakers went 2-2, and the Mavs are 3-1 or 3-2, something like that.
Okay.
So I almost want to say the Mavs are.
I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you. Yeah, when the trade went down, I spoke about my concern for the Lakers and the possibility of lack of defense, and unfortunately, I mean, to me, it's been evident. With the Lakers, I speak about the Lakers' last game against the Charlotte Hornets. They were kind of in the driver's seat to the second half, and the defense just disappeared. And I feel like, in this second half, going into the playoffs, this is a major area of concern for the Los Angeles Lakers. Where are you going to get the defense? Who's going to provide that defensive spark to complement, what could be a high-powered offense?
Yeah, that game with the Hornets too. They didn't even score 100 points, which for West Coast ball for the Lakers, that's unacceptable.
Absolutely. So I mean, of course, will everybody, the whole world, all basketball fans will be keeping an eye on these two teams moving forward. But as of right now, I would have to agree with you. Dallas Mavericks are winning. I mean, a lot of people thought that they were crazy by letting Luka go, but might not be so wild after all. I feel like if Anthony Davis can get right and get back out on that court and stay healthy, man, they've got a good thing going for them going into the playoffs.
Yeah. Did they say how long he'd be out for?
It was 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I'm expecting him to come back, sometime next week. Yeah. So in the few minutes that we got left, Mark, you got any real on wrestling?
Let's see. It's Friday night, and SmackDown's on the air. The Rock, for some reason, decided he wants to be on the show, so apparently they had to go and rewrite some of the show. But
Wow.
yeah, if you're a big Rock fan, check out SmackDown tonight. I did catch a rundown of the show, and I believe he'll be in that third hour because SmackDown's 3 hours now. It's over on USA Network.
Nice.
Probably early in the third hour is my guess. They're building up towards Elimination Chamber on next Saturday, the 1st of March, and that's up there in Toronto. That's going to be a good show, I think. But yeah, that's where we're looking on wrestling right now.
Awesome. And this time I would say I'm not a huge wrestling fan, but it's kind of simmering before we get into those spring and summer events that we all love. I know that you're a big fan of SummerSlam.
Oh well, WrestleMania season. WrestleMania. It's they actually pushed it back this year.
Really?
Yeah, because it used to be always be like end of March, beginning of
I would
April,
say April. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was always ending up competing with the tournament. So they pushed it back till I want to say like April 16th, 17th, something like that, middle of April now. So the gets them away from competing with NCAA March Madness.
Okay, I was gonna ask, was there any reasoning behind that? But hey, that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, before we sign off, is there anything else you wanted to shed light on, or that you wanted to acknowledge before we end the show?
Hey, tomorrow, very first spring training day for the O's.
Yeah, yeah, and I gotta say that off season has been a little disappointing. If you are a fan of the Orioles, because they haven't really made many moves or big moves, things that could push them over the top and make them relevant in those early contender talks. It seems like the biggest talk right now is that Anthony Santander turned down like a 3-year pretty sweet deal from the Orioles to go to the Toronto Blue Jays, and you just can't help but wonder what the hell happened there, right?
I mean, with a name like Santander, he's got to be Canadian, right? He just wanted to go home.
Yeah, man. We had I think the first spring training game yesterday was against the Cubs and the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Cubs won big time, but like I said, it's spring training. Everybody's working out the kinks, trying to get things together. So now we're in the thick of it. Everybody's back on the diamond, and if you're a fan of baseball, the time is now. We're back in it. Countdown to opening day, baby.
Did you hear the big news about the Yankees today?
No. What's popping up?
The Yankees are doing away with tradition. They've made changes to their player appearance.
They're letting them have beards.
They're letting them have beards.
Get the hell out of here.
Yep.
Ladies, and I guess some gentlemen too. Beard gang is in full effect. I wonder how many players will actually take advantage of that. And I got to tell you, Mark, I'm a fan of beards. It's something about. I hope I don't lose some fans on this, but a grown man without a beard looks kind of weird to me, man. I'm team beard gang all day long.
There we go.
Yeah, that's probably about the only thing that the Yankees will ever do that I like. Well, all right, man, we're going to end this show. You know how we do it. Baltimore spread love, yo. Like Mark said, share the link, share the love. Put us out there, man. We love chopping it up with you guys. Absolutely appreciate you guys tuning in. Wash your hands, stay clean, give hugs. Times are crazy. I don't know if I'll be getting on a plane anytime this year, but it is what it is. I'm Keisha, and on the other end of the line, my favorite slice of pizza, Mark, and we are just a bit outside. Y'all have a great weekend.